Hey everyone, my name is Jamie Lee. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching this video today. Now today we're back with my all-time favorite shoe brand VIVAIA with some new boot styles to kind of get you through the winter. I don't know about you, but I live in Canada. We are basically stuck wearing boots of some kind from now, early November, until like April. It's pretty bad here. We get a lot of snow, a lot of slush, and VIVAIA has some really great styles. Now I have two brand new pairs today that we're going to take a look at that just launched, but I also have two of my favorite boot styles from previous seasons that I quickly wanted to revisit just so that you can see how they've held up, how I've liked them, and of course we will show some outfits that I think you can pair with these boots, but all of them are super versatile as well. Now if this is your first time hearing about VIVAIA, they are a shoe company, of course, that focuses on sustainably and ethically made footwear. A lot of their products contain recycled materials such as recycled water bottles, and they have a real focus on making things sustainably, but also making things that are actually comfortable to wear and that will last you a long time. One of the reasons that I started ever shopping at VIVAIA to begin with many years ago at this point is they're one of the few shoe brands that actually sells size 5. So I wear like a US size 5 and EU 35. I have quite small feet and they actually carry that size in all of their shoes, and that has been absolutely incredible. They also have half sizes in a lot of styles as well as wide in a lot of their like flats styles. So definitely a brand that will fit a wide range of different feet, which is amazing. And at this point I have purchased and been sent tons of different styles from VIVAIA over the years. My favorite sandals of all time are from them. A lot of my favorite boots and flats are from them, and in general I just feel like they make very incredibly comfortable footwear, and they're always coming out with new innovative styles or things that are just a little bit different than what other big shoe companies are doing, including a lot of features that really make things even more comfortable to wear for a long period of time. And the ones that we're trying on today will have a lot of those features, so we will definitely look at them more in depth as we go along. Now, as I mentioned, we do have two brand new to me and to VIVAIA boot styles that we're going to be looking at first. So I thought that we would introduce them, show what they look like, and then we'll go more in depth into everything. First up, we have the Gia fold-over square toe boots. You can see that these obviously have a little bit of a chunky heel. They have a optional fold over at the top, and they are like quite a nice high stretchy calf boot, which is very exciting, and we'll get into that when we go into it in more detail. And then next up, we also have their urban boots, which are a modern slip-on kind of sneaker boot combo style. These ones are obviously meant to be a lot more casual, super comfy. These ones have a lot of features that I think you're really gonna like because I was very excited about them. And then we also have a couple pairs of boots that I have owned previous to this video. This one I've owned for multiple years, which is the Regina Pro Boots. You can see they have a square toe, a really funky heel, and the entire thing is kind of like a stretch knit fabric. Probably my most worn boots that I've ever had. And then of course another newer style to me, but one that I have been wearing quite often, is the Everly boots, which once again are meant to be like a real walking boot that you could wear these for commutes or anything you need to do. I've been wearing them a lot. They're definitely a little bit dirty. Once again, a great boot. So we will try all four of these on and we'll talk about them, but let's get started talking about the Gia fold-over knee-high boots. So first we have the Gia boots. As I mentioned before, one of the things that I think is most important about these boots is that the entire boot is stretchy. So if you have wide calves, this should still fit and be very comfortable with this very stretchy fabric that will fit over your leg. I have fairly wide calves. Generally, any type of knee-high boot is pretty hard for me to wear. These fit me perfectly. As we'll see, I'm going to obviously try them on. Now, in addition to having that nice stretchy upper, obviously we do also have this fold over detail. So you can choose to fold this over or not. You could have it folded down lower, higher, whatever you feel like. And you can see that when you fold it over, you have the little VIVAIA kind of logo on here. And it is built such that it faces up like the right direction, no matter if you have it folded or not, which is nice. Now, I got this dark chocolate color in these boots. You could also get them in black, but I especially think that the dark chocolate looks so good with this fold over. That's like this really soft, smooth, it almost feels like a suede style fabric on on the inside, and that extends all the way down into the boot, right down to the bottom. And this fabric feels super warm, really nice and soft against the skin, and it's made with their heat retaining tech. So when you put these on, it should actually help to keep you warm in addition to being really cute. Once again, that's important for me because I live in Canada. It gets very cold. I actually need something that will help keep me warm. And from trying these on, I do think that they will be fairly warm to wear. Now at the bottom here, you can see that we have that nice chunky heel. Once again, much easier to walk in, nice and comfy with something chunky like that. And we have a tiny bit of a platform. I love that from the aesthetic sense. I think that a little bit of a platform looks really good. I also personally feel like a slight platform on a boot like this makes them feel so much more comfortable to wear all day. And then if we look at the bottom of these boots, you can also see that they have a nice thick tread on them to help you not slip in the snow and ice. And these boots are also shockingly light for how like tall they are. If you were to go buy like a traditional leather boot that was this high, it would easily weigh double what this one does. And of course, in terms of what I would personally wear with these, anything super high like this, I love to wear with a skirt and tights or with skinny jeans. I do think that that looks very cute as well. But like always, let's try them on. Now, a lot of times when you get something that's super high like this, it's really annoying to put on. These you can easily just slip on. Very, very easy. Pull it on, slip your foot right into the bottom. The bottom essentially feels like its own separate shoe that's like holding your foot in place. And this is what they look like on. Super, super cute. I think that they feel really sturdy and secure. And once again, because they have that nice thick platform on the bottom, they feel very sturdy. It doesn't feel like you're going to be wobbling around in these at all, unlike some like skinnier heels that you get sometimes. Now, these boots do also have that kind of square toe box, which I feel like really helps if you tend to have wider feet or you feel like your toes get squished. I actually have quite narrow feet, but I always feel like my big toe, especially on one foot, I have a slightly longer right foot than left. Sometimes that big toe on the right foot feels like a little bit squashed. In here, it has plenty of room. I'm not noticing any pushing on the toe, any extra pressure. I definitely like how these look with that rollover, but of course, if you don't like it, you can also leave them high. Now, keep in mind, I'm only 5'1", so if I don't roll these down at all, they're coming right over the knee. However, because it does have that kind of flexible material, it doesn't really matter. Like, I can still walk in them, no problem, even though it is obviously coming up over the knee. In a more restrictive material, that would be a problem. In these, it's no problem at all. And I definitely feel like these are super cute. Very warm feeling, which is nice. That fabric on the inside feels very snuggly on the legs. And there's a lot of times in the winter when I want to wear like a cute outfit. Obviously, maybe you're going to a holiday party, maybe you're going to see some friends. And a lot of times I'm very limited on what footwear I can wear because once again, I live in Canada, there's a lot of snow. It's freezing outside all winter. It could be like minus 30 Celsius. I think that these will be nice for that. Maybe not quite minus 30, but when it is getting cold outside and you still want to wear something cute, these I think will actually be warm enough to wear outside. And with those nice thick treads, the nice thick chunky heel, I think that these will actually work for me in the winter. So definitely very excited about these ones. And in general, I do just think that these are very cute. So definitely a great boot. Would 100% recommend them. But let's look at the urban style. So next up we have the urban boots, and these were very interesting to me because they look super comfortable and like something that you could just throw on and wear every day. So specifically, these were something that I was thinking might be nice for you're running to the grocery store in the winter. You're really quickly like you need to run into town and get one thing. I live outside of town, if that's not clear. If I need anything, I must drive at least 10 minutes to get it. But sometimes you don't want to get like super dressed up. You don't necessarily need your like nice fancy knee-high boots. Sometimes you just want something you can slip on and go, and I thought that these would be perfect for that. Now, because I live in Canada, one thing that is very important if you are going to wear anything outside in the winter whatsoever, it needs to have some kind of like water repellency. Now, these ones are fully water repellent. So you can see, you can put water on them, shake them off. Absolutely no water actually soaks in. The inside of this shoe is still completely dry, and you can see it looks totally dry from the outside. Very handy. Water essentially just beads right off, so you don't have to worry about your feet getting soaking wet. I also really appreciate that they are a slip-on style. You can see on the inside here, they have this super cushioned back, so no blisters, but also I do think that that makes them significantly easier to just slip on. That is exceptionally easy to get on, even one hand, or you just set them on the floor and stick your foot right into it. Now, also handy to know, if you do wear them out in some slush, they get kind of muddy. These are machine washable, so you can wash them in your washing machine. I have washed other pairs of VIVAIA shoes, obviously not these ones because I just got them, and I usually just put them in a mesh laundry bag, put them in the washing machine. I obviously don't dry them in the dryer. I just let them lay flat to dry, and they come out looking good as new. So definitely a handy feature, especially for something that you're going to get a lot of wear out of. These ones are also made of like a super stretchy fabric, and they are nice and roomy in the toe, so you don't have to worry about your foot feeling squished in here or feeling like your leg is getting squished by this. In general, I think that they're going to be the perfect, like, super comfy throw on and go sneaker boot. Really, like, it is kind of a combo of both. And as for an outfit with these, obviously I think I will mostly be wearing these very casually. So I threw on something that I wear often very casually in the winter, which is of course some comfy jeans, maybe a nice sweater, something that you're just going to throw on and go run and do errands. I of course think that you could also wear these lots of other times, but I know for a fact that I am going to just have these sitting by the door, and these are going to be my like slip on and go, walk the dog type boots. So this is what they look like underneath the jeans. I feel like they look perfectly fine. These are not meant to be the sexiest boots you've ever had, but I think that they look good. They were available in a lot of different colors. You could get more of like a camel shade, black, green, all kinds of different shades, but I thought that this nice light, almost like a beige pair, would look good with the most things. And I also have like a light pink winter coat, so I need something that looks somewhat okay with that, because realistically, if I'm going outside in the winter, that's what I'm wearing. And these are super incredibly comfortable, very easy to walk in. Once again, you can definitely feel that they are super stretchy. The insole in these feels like a cloud, super soft and squishy, but I still feel like I have good support for my foot. Sometimes when you try on shoes that are too squishy at the bottom or don't have a real sole underneath your foot, you feel kind of unstable. I am not getting that here. Things feel nice and stable. And once again, these have a nice thick looking and feeling tread on them, so they should be quite good in slippery conditions like snow, like ice, like slush. And I'm definitely really appreciating that extra piece at the back. It's making it really easy to slip on the shoe. Like, I have set it on the ground now, completely hands-free. I have slipped it on, and I think that that extra piece at the back really helps to like guide your foot into the right place. Now, I'm only going to mention this because it's something very relevant to me. My grandma recently got a pair of new winter boots that her son went with her to get. Not my dad, my uncle. And she can barely put them on. They're like lace-up boots. She's quite old, almost 90 years old. And she was telling me about these boots, and I was literally sitting there being like, I don't understand why your son would buy you boots that like you have to lace up. Doesn't have great control over her hand. She has quite bad arthritis. And I was thinking, we've got to try and find her something that she can just slip on and go. It's great to have one pair of crazy lace-up, like nice high snow boots, of course, in case you have to do something where you need that. But if you're just going out to your car, like she goes to church a lot, she needs to go get groceries, if you're just running out to your car quick, it's nice to have something that you can just slip on. And I think that this might be the perfect thing for that. So if you do have a family member that maybe has bad arthritis or a disability, I do think that these could be a good option for that. I know that obviously they are a little bit more expensive, but maybe as a nice Christmas gift, because I do think that they are excellent boots. So in general, would I recommend these? Yes, if you're looking for something that's just like a comfy slip-on, especially if you don't necessarily need them to be like super, super warm, because I do think that these would be fine in the winter that we're in right now, where it's like 0 degrees most days. I don't think I could wear these in -30 unless I sized up half a size and wore some like gigantic socks underneath. So just keep that in mind if you do live somewhere very cold. But if you're somebody that, say you live in the city, you live in Toronto, you just need something that you can wear out of your building onto the subway or the streetcar and then into your office. Like, you're not going to be outside for a long period of time. I do think something like this would be perfect, very easy to slip on and extraordinarily comfortable. And then, like I mentioned, I do want to super quickly go over the pairs that I have already owned long before this video. The first being the Regina Pro. These are just like a walking boot, very comfy, very stylish. I think that they're great for work because they are comfy enough to wear all day, but they also look like cute and stylish. I wear these really, really often. If you have followed me on LTK or Instagram and ever seen my stories, you'll have seen these 100 times because I love them. Obviously, once again, very stretchy upper on these. These ones are also water repellent, so that exact same water test we did on the last one, same with these. The water runs right off of them. They have this really interesting chunky heel, which I think is really pretty. Adds a lot of like visual interest to the shoe, but also does make it feel like very sturdy when you're walking in these. And once again, I wear these ones really often. I've worn these with all manner of different outfits. Very comfy, super easy to walk in. These are something that like I've gone Christmas shopping in these and worn them for like 8 hours of walking around malls. Still super comfy when you take them off. Now, I got every single shoe, every shoe I've ever gotten from VIVAIA actually, in a size 5. These ones, obviously they fit in the size 5, but I have to wear very, very thin, like little work socks, basically like those little black, super, super thin work socks that everybody has. If you want to wear a thicker sock with these, I would probably recommend going up a half size because I would say that they fit slightly on the smaller end, like they definitely fit, but not with a thicker sock. And I usually wear them more so like indoors, like these aren't something I'm trekking around outside in, so a thin sock is fine for that. But if you do want to wear a thicker sock with them, just keep that in mind. And then lastly, we have the Everleys. I got these, I think towards the end of the summer, and I have worn them quite a few times already, including to a super intense outdoor, fully outdoor escape room that ended up being in like a psychotic storm. So it was pouring rain on us. Everything is slippery. People are falling. There's mud everywhere. And you'll notice that they still look really, really good. All of the rain on that day literally just went right off of them. These ones are water repellent again. I've tested them with the exact same water test, but I've also tested them in a torrential thunderstorm. And my feet were 100% dry in here, which is crazy. These ones are also just very comfortable to wear for a long period of time. Once again, literally the first time I ever wore them was to this escape room thing. Went out for dinner, parked somewhere, walked around, went to this outdoor escape room, running around outside for a few hours. They worked perfectly. I was quite literally full speed sprinting in these at one point to try and like finish a final challenge before the time was up, and they were still super comfortable for that as well. These ones obviously have, once again, very, very chunky platform at the bottom. They feel super secure, very sturdy, super, super comfortable to wear, easy to walk in, easy to run in. Once again, I tend to wear like a skinnier sock with these just so that my foot has more space, more room to breathe. I think if you wanted a really thick sock, once again, you would probably want to go up half a size. I think that's generally true about all like boots that you're going to wear in the winter though. If you want like a very thick sock, like a big thick pair of chunky merino wool socks, you probably got to go up half a size. But these in just my regular size, super comfy. As I mentioned, I've worn them a lot, and to some things that are pretty taxing on a new shoe. Like I think most new shoes, I would have ended up with blisters trying to wear them for the first time to this crazy event. But these ones, no blisters, super comfy. And in general, I think it's clear. I really love a lot of shoes from VIVAIA. I think that they have a lot of very cute styles, a lot of things that are like a little bit unique, and they make a lot of things that I do think solve specific problems. So like the Gia boots that we had on at the very beginning with the stretchy entire upper of the shoe. Now, even if you have a wide calf, you can still wear them. They have a foldover, so if you're short, you can just fold them over. But even if you don't want to fold them over, there's that stretchy fabric so you can still wear them even if they come up over your knee a bit. I think that that's amazing. The slip-on urban boots. Once again, if you have arthritis or somebody with a disability, I think that that will be really handy. Or if you just want something easy to slip on to go walk your dog quick in the winter, I think that they'll be perfect. And once again, I have had some of these different pairs of shoes from VIVAIA, like the sandals, like those Regina boots, for a couple of years, and they've still held up just as great as when I got them. them. They seem to last a very long time. I know that they obviously are a more expensive shoe, but I think that it's worth the investment if you get a couple of shoes that are going to last a long time, that you'll actually be able to wear like year over year. And I do think that they have a lot of styles that are not like trendy in the sense that they're just going to go out of style instantly. These are all shoes that have been crafted with the purpose of you being able to wear them for a long time. And I really appreciate that. Now, depending on when you're seeing this video, if you're seeing it before Black Friday 2025, they are also going to have a bunch of really good deals. So I think that that is probably a good time to maybe pick up a pair of shoes if you want to get some as a gift for a loved one, such as like those slip-ons for an older family member or somebody with a disability. I think that's a great time to do that. They have a lot of like bundle offers. They also have a lot of offers where with some of the boots you can get like some cute leg warmers with them, which obviously I think that's very fun. I love a leg warmer. I think that that's great. But like always, if you have any questions about anything, about a particular pair of shoes, the fit, anything, let me know down in the comments and I'm happy to answer. And if you had a favorite pair of shoes, let me know what it was. Of the two new ones, I really like both for totally different reasons. I think the Gia boot, super, super cute. Like I will definitely be wearing that on a night out. The Urban boots, I will probably be wearing as my new dog walking boots for the foreseeable future. I think that they're great for that. But let me know your thoughts. And like always, thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope that you have a fabulous day and that I'll see you next time. Bye!